So, you've done your research, you found great evidence, you've thought long and hard about your project. This is great, but it's not enough. Now you must convince your reader that in the pile of books and magazine articles and journals on their desk, your paper deserves attention. This is where writing comes in. How you say what you have to say, how you structure your thoughts, how you organize your ideas and your evidence, how you relate to your reader, all of this is essential. Writing is difficult. It may make you anxious, but it deserves your attention, and it can be approached in a systematic way. So I'm going to make 3 points. First point, get to your first draft. At some point, you need to stop the research, stop the reading, and just start writing. Set a date at which you promise yourself you start writing. It's not an easy thing to do. There's always more to read, always more to research. But that's the problem. There is always more, and thus the temptation to put off writing. So set that date, organize your ideas and your main argument as best as you can at this stage, and then write what we call a dirty first draft. It's dirty because you're not worrying too much about style, you're not worrying too much about structure, not at this stage. That will come later. Just get it on the page. Second point. Once you've written your first draft, you want to gain distance in order to see the big picture. Let your draft sit for a little bit. A few days if you have time. Let it sit and take a step back to rediscover your paper with fresh eyes. See where your writing has taken you. And as you do so, ask yourself the following essential questions. What is the most important thing I have uncovered? Why does it matter? What will I say when somebody says, "So what?" about my draft? What claims can I make in a convincing way? Should I be bolder, perhaps? Or should I be more cautious? Do I provide enough evidence to support my claims? Or on the contrary, is there too much evidence? Is it what some people call a data dump, where I just kind of dump everything I've found and overwhelm the reader? Be honest with yourself and then make tough decisions. Be ruthless and cut out everything that is superfluous. Third point, writing is rewriting, and more than once. When I write, I go through several rounds of rewriting. The first round, I want to make sure that everything relates to my argument. Each section, each paragraph must contribute a building block to the point I'm trying to make. I may have found stuff that's really interesting, but it's not essential. Out it goes. Second rewrite, clarity. Good writing is clear. I want to make sure I'm not using jargon. I'm not obfuscating my point. I'm not confusing the reader. And this happens at the level of sentences, paragraphs, and sections. Third rewrite, precision. I want to make sure now that every term I use is defined. It could be culture, power, any of those big words. Make sure that they're well defined, make sure that the analysis is coherent, make sure I haven't used too many cliches or vague terms. After precision comes concision. Now I want to make sure that I write a taut paper. I'm going to cut anything that gets in the way of my argument. Excessive words, sentences even. Generally, I cut about 15% of my first draft. So the final rewrite is about style. And the goal here is to retain the reader's interest. Now, there are a lot of things we can do about style, but here are a few ideas. First, try to vary sentence structure, long and short. Second, paint vivid pictures to make your material come alive. Third, pay attention to vocabulary, especially to repetition of the same terms. Fourth, pay special attention to transitions between sections. And 5, watch for excessive quotations, especially of other scholars' work. Your voice must come through. In closing, writing is difficult, but a good system will help. Set yourself a cutoff date for your research, start writing, produce that shitty first draft, gain enough distance to reapproach it with fresh eyes, ask yourself those tough questions, and then rewrite, rewrite, rewrite. This is the way of rising to the top of your reader's pile and making a convincing argument. But this will take time. So make sure you've budgeted enough time, once you know your deadline, to go through all the steps in the process. It will pay off.